Howdy everybody. Just wanted to show you I've made a ton of progress. I didn't post a video yesterday, but I've made a lot of progress drilling and tapping all 6 of these. These are 5/16 18 holes in the casting that hold these strips down, that metal. They're 1 inch by 1/4 inch by about 3.5 inch metal strips that hold, that will be basically the adjustment for, this is the plate that goes on the column front, and of course it'll have holes drilled and it'll be bolted in the other way into the column front. And this is the cross slide support that will move up and down excuse me, on the Gingery Shaper. Right now I've got it set up, and I've taken a progress picture. I wanted to post this and just show a neat little idea I had. But what I've done is I've just drilled and basically made a mark into the gib that's here. I'll show you this little device that I created. This when I was building the live steam locomotive. Fred had pointed out that when I go to set the eccentric straps for the timing of it, it'd be good if I could drill down in a point, and then use a pointed set screw to lock it in, so that the eccentrics, once the timing is set, that they won't move around. So a little bit of overkill, but I created this thing. I took a piece of 3/16 inch brass rod, and first I drilled a hole through the center that's about 1/8 inch. It's big enough for this extra long center drill that you see here. And then I threaded the outside of it 1032, and I had it left over from the locomotive project. So on the side of the cross slide support, instead of using 1/4 20 gib screws, I used 1032, because you only have a 1/4 inch deep area there in the first place. And so after I drilled and tapped these holes yesterday, and then tonight I used this thing I just finished. I screwed this in there, and then I would take the drill and go in and make my mark on the gib. And I left the gib long on purpose. In a few minutes, when I get done taking the video, I'll take this all apart, loosen these bolts, be able to slide the gib out, and then I'll cut the gib off, because it doesn't need to be this long, but I'll cut it off that length. And hopefully it'll have 2 little marks on it from the end of this drill that will make a nice seat. I did grind the point of the screws to a point that should go into the gib and help retain it. So at the worst case scenario, even if I haven't drilled much of a hole, then I can grind that out a little bit and enlarge it so that it has a spot for the holes to make. So make contact, I should say. So here's the assembly as it stands now. I've got these things super tight down. One thing I did was I milled off a few thousandths on each of the edges after I got done drilling and tapping all 6 of the holes yesterday, so that it's a fairly tight fit. I may need to take a couple thou more off of it. The idea is that it's tighter than it needs to be, and then you use, and it's a good idea too, you use some foil shim stock on either side to adjust it, just to give you just enough clearance that the slide can move up and down. That way, if you use the shaper a lot, then you can, and eventually if you wear the aluminum down with the sliding against the steel like that, that you can unbolt this, remove the shim stock, and bolt it back in, and you're good to go. So I will do that. I'll machine it down a little bit. And like I said yesterday, doing this detail work on this side today. Once this is all done, then all I've got to do is flip it over in the mill, basically mill off a 1/4 inch off of this surface down here, and I'll put a little notch in it here, and then I'll have basically 2 pads that I can mount the 10 inch long plate that's just like this, the 3 inch steel 10 inch long plate that will get mounted in there. And I'll drill and tap for these extra long, I think I got 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, 1/4 20 threaded flathead screws that will go into this casting here. So it'll be plenty, as you can see, it'll go all the way through. I may have to cut these a little shorter, but that's a good problem to have. So thanks again for watching, everybody. I'll keep you posted.